Peace, family. This is Mass Quasi with Go Hard Gambia. If you're new to the channel, like, share, and subscribe. I tell my journey. I'm from the states, the North tri-state area, the Northeast tri-state area, and I relocated to the Gambia, West Africa, and I basically tell my story of my journey and how we can be successful in that journey, and also talk about issues that face us in the states. As we know, there's quite a bit going on in the states, and we're seeing a continued decline in just basic humanity there. A few days ago, a brother, Jalen, was shot and killed by the police officers in Akron, I think is Ohio. You can pull that up for me over there. But in any case, the way that they chased this man down and gunned him down just shows that there's no humanity. There's no humanity there. And first of all, I've come up in his name is Jalen Walker. And Jalen Walker, he was shot at least 60 times by 7 or 8 police officers. They said 5 of them were white, 5 or 6 of them were white. One was black, and there was one woman there. But in any case, it's just a tragic, and unfortunate situation where we have to see someone lose their life yet again. And one of the things that makes this thing so gruesome is that, now we're seeing more and more of these type of things happening, and it's all being recorded. It's all on film and being broadcast for the world to see, for our youth to see. They shot this brother after chasing him. They were chasing him in the car, and they chased him for a while, and he had a gun in the car with him, and he ditched the car. So when he ditched the car, he left the gun in the car along with a ring, thinking that at least if he jump out the car and he run and he leave the gun there, he would have a chance to survive. So in any case, we see how that turned out for him. And when these officers, it's like they're on a hunt. They're hunting people down. They got all of this training. They got all of these guns and these weapons, and they're all together, and they basically chased this man down, and they were looking to kill somebody. I mean, I can't explain it in any other way. Everybody had to get a shot in. Everybody. All of the cops there, everybody had to get a shot in and empty their guns. Even once he fell to the ground, they continued barrage of bullets. Even once he went down on the ground. And from what I'm reading and what I've read in the news report, they actually, after shooting him that many times, actually put him in handcuffs. So they said when the paramedics arrived, he was in handcuffs. He was in handcuffs. So you have 8 supposedly supposed to be human beings, 8 of them, and everybody know one bullet can take you down and take your life. Now these are trained professionals. After shooting this man dozens of times, they still see this man as a threat, or is that the hog tie at the end? That was the accomplishment, and this shows a very disturbing psychology amongst law enforcement. A very disturbing psychology amongst law enforcement where they would deal a fatal blow like that and feel the need that they still have to handcuff. That many times, that many bullets in you, I'm pretty sure that he was deceased on the scene. You know, a lot of information, a lot of stuff is coming out. People are very upset about the situation, and people are tired. People are tired of this type of abuse of authority. This type of abuse of authority, especially when we're seeing it, and we're living in a time where it's living in a time where we're seeing so much instability with people going out and shooting other people randomly. We're living in a time where we're seeing people going into schools. There was another mass shooting, and young people, our best, our young people are going, and they don't see any value in their life. They don't see any future for themselves, and they want to inflict as much pain on the public as possible. And they're going into different places where there's large numbers of people, and they're taking people's life for absolutely no reason at all. And as we continue to see an escalation of this, it's an escalation of everything going on. Got my Wanjo here in the Gambia. I'm in the beautiful Gambia, West Africa. I've been meaning to get on for the last few days and talk about a number of topics and things that were taking place. And there was a shooting. A sister was killed in Atlanta over an order gone wrong. So what you have, and what I see in America is, everybody is armed. Being armed is not a solution. It's only a reason for them to take your rights away from you and take your life away from you. Hold on, let me check some. I think I have some. Okay. So in any case, Jayland Walker was killed by a number of police officers who were in pursuit of him, and it ended in an unfortunate and tragic way. As there are more violence and as there are more guns within the society, just think about it. Why is it this major push for everyone to be armed, And we had a number of shootings that have caused, gun sales to just spike in our community, in the U.S. in general. So what's happening? What we're seeing more, petty confrontations turning into gunfire, turning into shootouts, and turning into, people getting killed and losing their life for, next to nothing because of mayonnaise. Is this the type of society that we want to continue to live in? Is this the type of society that we want to have families in? Is this the type of society that we want to raise children in? My light went out. It's good lighting though. It's still good lighting here. So we're just working with some technical issues here to make, to be able to come and present ourselves before, you all, and when I say we, you can't do anything yourself. You always got to have a team of people, supporting and working through different logistical challenges, especially here in the Gambia. There's many, many, many challenges in terms of, technology and just general, living. And we need individuals to help and support in that case. And that's when I say we, that's what I'm talking about, the people that I have. So the handcuff, them handcuffing the brother after he was shot dozens of times is something that really shows a deeper psychological nature in how, the black man for one, has been hunted and killed within that society without any, repercussions to the ones who are, causing this pain, that have caused this pain for centuries on our people. So you're seeing a historic mindset in terms of its brutal nature. I was gonna play the video here, but I'm not even gonna play the video up here. You can go and see it. They have it broadcast all over the U.S., all over the world, of them chasing this man down. 8 trained law enforcement officers, you know, armed with automatic weapons, chasing a singular individual down and firing at least 90 shots at this 25-year-old black man, this 25-year-old unarmed black man. What does this say? What does this say to you? All right. Right now, we're going to talk about Jalen, because we know we have deeper issues in our community, and a life in our community is is worth not much at all. The way that we take each other life in our community, and then we have to deal with the powers that be. A lot of our young people are running around living lives, gangster lives, where they have guns. There's so much abuse in our community as far as drug and alcohol abuse, and it's been made popular through pop culture, through the hip hop culture, and it's as I always say, it's been a meat grinder for our people. And what we're seeing in America is not a place that represents family. Family. Anybody that is born into the world, any man or woman. I mean, naturally, we want to be able to have a family to extend our family name and ourself. And it used to be a time where there was a lot of honor around family, and how family things, your family name and your word. Like here in Africa, family name is still important. It's still important here. And in the U.S., it's all of that has been gone. Just the whole idea of family, and the idea of even being married, it is rejected. And someone made a post today, and I replied back, and I said, Babylon is in its full glory right now. Babylon is in its full glory. So what is going to be the result of this case? What is going to be the result? And you know what? I mean, even if they locked all of those, which I doubt, which I really, really, really doubt. Even if they locked them all up, it's still not going to solve the issue. Could you imagine how many cases like this have took place throughout history that did not get attention? This is not something that is the first time. I mean, at one time they were killing us like that, and nobody even cared. Nobody even cared about a black person got. And now it probably happens. It's still happening in a lot of states. And these police shootings. It's a lot of corruption in these police departments and things like that. And we were used as targets for a long time. So now, when we see this type of level, and it's always getting increasingly more brutal. And 60 bullets for real, 60 bullets. All right. I don't know if you guys, you get 60 bullets and put it in your hand. That's a lot of lead. That's a lot of lead. We have sister right here, Trina. The family has gone in black community. The rest of the groups in America have men in their homes. That's something to think about. Our communities and how our communities are declining. I can see it from there. How our communities are declining. So that's another sign, another clear sign that, as far as us as a people, in America, we are, I don't know. I mean, I left because I don't see a future there. I don't see a future there. All I see is what we're seeing in the continuation of that. And, those who are wise, definitely have to prepare. You have to be prepared, and, it's better to have and not need than to need and not have. The captain said that, I think they're trying to call it a homicide now. I mean, you can't call it anything other than that. It was just like a whole bunch of, mindless killers, man. It's just some mindless killers, man. And it was for a traffic violation. It wasn't like even like they were chasing him because he had robbed a bank. You understand what I'm saying? Or he was just involved in a shooting or something like that. I know they said they heard a shot or something inside the car, but I remember back in the West when that they had bounty hunters. So if there was a criminal, they would send one or two people after that criminal, and then you bring them back, dead or alive, like they used to say. What I mean? You going to find this person. It's one lawman and it's one bad guy. You understand what I'm saying? And over the years, I guess they increased their numbers, increased their odds against the bad guys, and then it went beyond that. It went beyond, going and chasing bad guys and bringing them to the law. It became, hunting now, where if you're out there, everybody wanted to get their shots off. Everybody wanted to get, dump their clips. How many police officers are running around the U.S. with an itchy trigger finger? Trust me, it got to be the large majority of how these people were acting for a traffic violation. So in any case, I wanted to just come on, and I'm not gonna stay up here too long because I have a busy day ahead of me. But I wanted to speak, and my heartfelt condolences going out to Jalen, his family. I was watching a video today about a brother in my hometown. They were taking him to jail, and he ended up paralyzed in a ride. You can look that up, New Haven, Connecticut. But what they do is if you in the back of the paddy wagon, if they hit the brakes, they can stop abruptly, and then it just throws you all around. And in this situation, this brother went to jail walking. Now he's a paraplegic. He can't move his hands, from the neck down, after being in police custody. And a lot of these, it's already been studies done that show that the vast majority of law enforcement people who come into law enforcement, they did a study and they took 10 civilians and they allowed them to ride with the police. And by the end of week 1, week 2, eight out of 10 of them were, violating people's civil rights. And these were average citizens. So, we just have to think about it. When you see something like that, you see something brutal, and it was eight shooters. Amadou Diallo, he was killed in New York, I don't know, about 30 years ago, and he was shot 21 times. And in his situation, the detectives, they were looking for a robber, somebody that was going around robbing people, and these were undercover detectives, so they were kind of like, a little edgy, because they know they were looking for someone that was armed, dangerous, and they shot this brother. They shot him 21 times in New York, brother from Africa. But this situation, and then it was another situation after there for Philando Castillo, where he was in a car with his girlfriend and his daughter, or his stepchild, or whatever the case may have been, and he had a gun on him. I think he even informed the officer that he had a gun on him, but he ended up with being shot and killed, and that was shown on TV and to the public. And America are having a lot of a lot of stuff they're just showing on TV that they weren't showing there 20, 30, 40 years ago. In terms of the level of violence. We watch so much violence on American TV. Even the cartoons. I was watching a cartoon the other day, and one of the characters bopped the other one upside the head or something like that. But we've been watching cartoon violence, and then all the way to the movie violence. and seeing, so I mean, they say we've seen so many acts of violence and death, thousands and thousands and thousands of deaths on TV, by the time we get 40 years old. And they do studies like that in the US. So we become very callous to, death and things like that. And, you know, even in my environment, where I come from, a lot of people, they look at, that as being a tough guy, having a badge of honor. If you got a body, you kill somebody, what I mean, you OG, you know, got the black tier and all of that stuff. And, but what what we're looking at right now in terms of the possible collapse of that society. And that's what we're seeing, because there, with the pandemic, it pushed a lot of us, a lot of people in house, working from home. And, when I was going through, when I came through last year, and I saw how they had things lined up, you had to stand, a certain number of feet away from the next person. Anybody, when you go into certain businesses, these people are behind plexiglass. We first started to see that when it started getting violent in the US, and the gas stations. The gas stations were the first places to put up, the plexiglass. Now you're seeing this everywhere. You see, of course, the banks was around right around that time. I can remember when the banks didn't have plexiglass like that. So now it's like we're going into society that's this institutional environment. And it's like martial law. Like, people talk about the whole implementation of martial law and the new world order. And you think about it, it's not going to come the way that we think it is. And we've seen that in different industries, where, particularly like the IRS said they're going to take away earned income credit, but they didn't take away the earned income credit. They took away everything that got you the earned income credit. So now we're looking at, large numbers of people being, in home. They can, working from home. We saw that, we saw that test. We're seeing a large, when you go out your house now, you got to have a gun on you. If I was living in the US, I would definitely have a gun. I was at the point of getting everybody, at least 4 guns in my family, because it was 7 of us. So it would have been me, my ex-wife, my oldest daughter, and then, my second oldest daughter, or maybe my son. But if we was gonna go out, we were gonna be strapped up, and we was gonna bang it out in Walmart, and somebody was gonna come in there trying to do some mass shooting. And trust me, as many people out there, it's almost like you have to be, ready for anything now. And the quality of life and the way of life that used to be America no longer exists. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to close that out. And you all think, about, the future and where America is heading. And this America is one place. There's other places. There's places where you can go. You can be free. You can be prosperous. And you don't have to stay in a situation where there's nothing but gloom. There's nothing but gloom, and lack of family, and lack of opportunity. So until next video, like, share, subscribe. Mass Kwesi Gohara Gambia. Peace.